Hello. It's January 25th, 2023. It's a SIG Node CI meeting. Welcome, everybody. I put this agenda item on a list. I don't have specific action items yet. It's just one of the bugs that we discovered. I spoke about it during SIG Node meeting yesterday. It's about HTTP probes. If you have too many containers, I mean, in this example, when we've been testing it, it was like 300 containers on a node, and all of them doing liveness probes every second. Then we can run out of resources on node because every HTTP connection takes some socket and it waits for completion, and then after callback, like after response was received, it keeps the socket open for another 60 seconds, just because of some TCP standard. We're changing it to 1 second, making problem less significant, but still we have this noisy neighbor problem of sort. And we discovered this issue from different channels. We saw people complaining about it, so it's like one channel, but we couldn't understand why it's happening, and like we thought that like maybe some application doing some crazy things with resources, and maybe it doesn't listen for socket, because error was client error. So client kubelet reporting that liveness probe fails with connection timeout trying to connect to application. So naturally, you will expect that application is not responding. So maybe like socket is like application cannot reply on the socket or something like that. But turn out it's a kubelet problem. So node exhausted all the sockets, and it cannot just create another one. Yeah, and we discovered this through this, but then we also discovered it in our stress test in GKE. Been running some of them, but surprisingly, it didn't fail before, but it started failing, and I'm not sure what changed. But through that, we like also recognize that maybe no customer issue. It looks more and more like an infrastructure problem. So we dig a little bit deeper, and Antonio found this problem because he's very familiar with networking stacks. So it was obvious. I mean, it wasn't obvious for him, but like it took some time to figure it out. And then I spoke with scalability team in the past. SIG Scalability is running all sorts of scalability tests, but they never run any node scalability tests. So they don't run like all their scalability efforts are directed towards scheduler and API server scalability. So they want to make sure that they can handle a lot of nodes with each node will host a lot of pods, but every pod that they run in scalability test is extremely small and using the same image as everything else. It doesn't have any probes at all defined. So like all the primitive probes. So they're mostly testing and maybe sometimes they have config map, but config map for this pod is typically designed to test API server scalability, like how many config maps we can host and like how fast they will be downloaded, this kind of things. So this is SIG scalability focus for many years now. They knew about node scalability questions, but they never dig much deeper into node efforts at all. So yeah, why I'm saying all that, I feel that we have this lack of testing in SIG Node. We don't have, for instance, another thing that we're working on is gRPC probes. For gRPC probes, we also implemented a couple conformance tests, and it's all good, functionality is working. But now looking at this problem, I'm thinking what kind of scalability test do I need to run? How many containers is too many? Can I run should I run scalability tests with 2,000 containers, 5,000 containers? Where is the limit that we need to support? Yeah, and what kind of resources we can exhaust on node with gRPC connections? Excuse me. Yeah. So I don't have answers yet. I just feel that there is a lack of testings that we have. We also we also have the SOC test that something that running kubelet continuously. We have this test. It's constantly red. We made like a few attempts already to fix it. I think we're getting closer, but yeah, Brian is you're shaking your head.
Yeah, it's always broken and extremely hard to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it to the point when I knew the problem is some leaking log. So I was trying to figure out which log I need to rotate, but I get to this point, but then like I went to parental leave and like I came back and like it's broken again, like completely busted. So I don't know, like this is a little bit uh, uh, dysfunctional, but yeah, something that we also need to do. But we have at least some. Uh, I mean, we have a place to fix. We don't have like we actually have a test that we need to look into to fix it. For stress, we don't have anything.
I have a question for you. I see you're linking a pull request here. Does this mean you started a test to do the stressing?
So what Antonio implemented is a unit test. Like basically it's faking all sorts of things, and then it creates a lot of probes during the unit testing. It's very, I mean, it's good enough for test. Like I mean, it's failing without the fix, and it's not failing with the fix. But I fairly speaking didn't even try it on Windows. Will it work on Windows or will not? Like I have no idea. So that I mean probably it does because we run unit tests on Windows. Yeah, Ryan.
I was going to mention, I was just looking at the patch too. I think it's a really good patch. It doesn't look like the gRPC probes got fixed with the new dialer. And so we might want to double check the gRPC probes.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I mentioned gRPC because we were thinking of GA and gRPC probes, and right now with the scalability problem, we probably need to look deeper and try to test it on scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody ever will be interested to look into stress tests and like what kind of stress tests we want to run during functional validation. It will be interesting. I definitely will be supportive of that. I just don't know like who has energy right now and whether we want to tackle it in this release or next release.
It seems like a fun thing to me too, but I don't think I can devote time to properly giving it to finish, making it happen.
Yeah. Maybe we can start with understanding what you want to do from stress. I think probes is obvious things that we may want to test. But we also may want to look at how many config maps like one pod can handle, like how many. I don't know what else to stress. Like how fast we can remove and delete pod. Like maybe we can just keep pounding, like creating, deleting, and see how kubelet behaves.
I have a practical suggestion for would help me and probably others in here, would make it easier for beginners to contribute. If there's already a place where these kind of things would fit in and we can add test cases. If there's not, a good first step would be to create a place where we can begin to add test cases. Find a place, something like that, and tell everybody in here so we can jump in and make test cases.
Yeah, this is fair. Like once we have an example, it's easier to extend it with other examples.
Right.
Um, Yeah. But I mean, even thinking about it, I still myself not super clear. Like, do you want big machine with and test a lot of like heavy load of pods, or you want smaller machine and just test the limits of a kubelet? I still didn't understand it in my mind myself. So that's why, like, I mean, even to create this place, we need to do a little bit more thinking. What exactly we want to validate and why. Does anyone know if anything was discussed for evented plug? Evented plug. Evented plug is a improvement where, like, today kubelet will release all the containers periodically from runtime to see if there are any changes that needs to be reconciled. With evented plug, it opens a streaming connection to runtime, and runtime, whenever something changes, reports back through this like stream, saying that there is a change on this container, please update it. And I would like the goal of this improvement was to improve performance and minimize like memory usage. And I was wondering if during this cap somebody was looking into stress testing it.
So, Sergey, we are trying to add evented like CI jobs in various repositories right now. So there's one was recently added uh, as a as a pre-submit job, but unfortunately it's failing due to some cluster authentication. We're trying to fix that. So that's a Node E2E job uses evented flag. Um, then we're trying to add evented flag CI jobs in Cryo. I believe someone might add in Containerd as well. And similarly, we are trying to add a evented flag job in OpenShift CI. So that's it. But right now we have a pre-submit job. Uh, there's a small problem, like when you launch it, it kind of doesn't get the right cluster to launch a job on. So the job doesn't get launched. So trying to debug that, what could be going on there. But as soon as that's fixed, we should have evented like Node E2E running soon.
Do you know if any stress testing were discussed?
Oh no, that would be the next step. Like, so we're just trying to get a basic Node E2E right now. And then next step would be to add more different scenarios, not just stress testing, but yeah.
Makes sense. And also, like, as a side note, when looking into probes, I discovered that today probes, like, we wouldn't start next probe while previous probe is still waiting for response. So it's quite surprising for me, because I thought that we will keep creating new connections over and over, even if like older connections still waiting on timeout. Yeah, it surprised me. I don't know if you knew about it.
But Sergey, I was wondering how evented plague is discussed in this context of this PR.
Oh, it's I'm putting this PR as an example where stress test may be needed,
Okay.
and event like is another place where I believe like stress test will be very important, mostly
Yeah.
because during stress we can find all sorts of race conditions and missing events that can be, like, maybe some missing event will cause some pod to not be removed or something like that. So I was wondering if a specific stress test was discussed, and how the stress test would look like. Is it like a lot of different pods, same pod that starts and stops very often? That's kind of questions I was wondering about. Because, like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, gotcha. I thought I just wanted to make sure that the evented plague has no relation with the changes in that pull request. Yeah.
No, it's mostly about testing, and I was wondering if there is a place already, like if there is an improvement already that like KEP that is intentionally doing stress testing, and it's part of our CI. I would like to understand details, like how exactly we decided to stress test this aspect and not that aspect. kind of.
Yeah. So the stress testing aspect for evented plague that I had in my mind was to have lots of pods which are changing the states continuously. That is what will trigger a lot of events. So you need to have a lot of pods, and they need to continuously change states from one state to another. That would be a good stress test for evented plague.
Yeah, I would be interested to know, like, how do you know what is a lot, and how you decide on that? And
So right now we have a fair number. Like we have around 250 number that we easily cross. We want to see whether we can go beyond that number very easily. Right. So I'm going to take the existing pod lifecycle test and then start scaling up without evented plague and then with the evented plague, and to see whether we see any performance difference, because there are a lot of optimization that happens in container runtime as well. So that kind of works with existing framework. So whenever, even though kubelet is requesting the pod statuses every second, it's not that runtime is actually going and hitting the disk. At least in case of cryo, it has a lot of caching that is inside, and it can respond from there. So in that case, how would evented plague actually make a difference there? So all those things need to be answered, those questions. But yeah, stress testing is required, considering evented plague was designed for improving the performance. That definitely stress test is required there.
yeah, I wonder if we can even reach the scale or like stress of system when kubelet is not able to process all the events. Like if we can get stress test to that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, once you have it, I would be interested to learn how it's done.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. If there's no more agenda items, I would love to go into our board. We have some issues to triage, but I wanted to start with waiting on author thing. Haven't looked and waiting on author for a while, and I cleaned it up a little bit for some obvious things. Work in progress. Yeah, everything is work in progress, likely not needed.
That's from today.
How do you know?
Oh, it's I put a comment on it. Divya, anyway, we'll see it.
Okay. Let's go in order. Store high-level pod container. Yeah, I don't think it's test related. Yeah, it's mostly change of functionality. Okay, let's remove it from our board. Okay, Peter.
Yeah, this one, the tests are still failing. I keep not having time to, or not remembering to look at it. So I would say like a waiting on the author kind of situation.
Okay. But they still want to fix it, right?
I would like to. That would be ideal.
Okay. One of the Windows related things, file permissions. Oh, it needs rebase. Okay. I think it's waiting on author for sure. Maybe even about to be closed. Kubernetes unit test to Windows. Yeah, I'm assigned here. Okay. Yeah, it's still waiting. Hidden issues. Update test to match current alpha node log feature. I think I looked at it today morning. So somebody added a lot of new tests, which is good. Oh, I see. It's for new. Is it for new feature? Oh, I see. So somebody want to add a new feature to query logs from a node using kubelet. So you don't need to SSH to node to gather some, I think a journal logs in this case. It's and Jordan seems to be having a problem with is an overall approach. Like we don't want to make kubelet to be a log forwarding solution for any node. It's a little bit scary from security perspective. Okay. So definitely waiting on author. Yeah, this one. Yeah, Brian, you mentioned this, right? So this is something you reviewed.
Yeah, that looks like the one where she was adding, removing secrets, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's still waiting on author then after this review.
Yeah, because Poley left some more substantial comments. Mine's a nit. What he says is probably more interesting. It's an active ticket. She just hadn't had time to respond yet.
Okay. Claudio replied to all the comments. Yeah, I need to take a look whether all the comments addressed. Yeah, since all the comments were replied on, I would put it needs reviewer. If anybody interested to take a look.
No, Windows.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Less things here now. If you have anything marked as work in progress, please take a look. If you don't need it, just kill it. So many. Okay. A put down generation for cryoignition. Right, so the LGTM'd.
Yeah, I think there's SIG testing feedback, but this one's pretty new.
So sorry, so issue here it's trying to fix is we have the Fedora Core OS as an operating system that we use for CRI jobs, and the boot configuration or the I forgot what's the new Ubuntu, but where the system comes up with certain configuration, that configuration is called ignition, and so far we have been manually editing those ignition files to update things there, but this PR essentially uses a feature of Fedora CoreOS where you can define a human readable YAML file and automatically generate machine configurable ignition file. So that's what this PR is doing. Yeah, at the bottom there's a cryo.yaml. That file is an input file, and then somewhere it will convert to the ignition file. So when we in future, if you want to make changes, we can make changes to the YAML file instead of risking directly editing the machine readable file.
Sounds good. Okay.
This is generated.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah,
this is
ignition ing
the
file. Yeah, the ing file is generated from the YAML file. Yeah. But we need ing file while running the test, so they will check in the ing file, and yeah.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. The only problem that hack folder and some feedback from Ben and Nistrest. I think I can approve for node portion of me. Move to
Yeah, this is the Node E2E evented leg job that I talked about some time back, which is not able to find the GCP project, and this PR is attempting to fix that. But I think I have a couple of questions around that. So if you go to the yeah, this portion of the changes, I'm not sure it's required or not. So I'm talking to author directly on the Slack. Maybe I should put some comment here or hold here, because we have a cryo job, which is a periodic, which doesn't have this and it still works fine. So I'm not sure whether this is required or not. But let me put a hold on it right there so I get a clear answer.
okay. Do you need this in the chat?
Yeah, that would be helpful. Thanks.
Detect invalid dialer. Yeah, it's not test related. Logging benchmark update. Okay, log update mostly. Yeah, it's not node specific, so I would take it out of our board. Update random class handler skip logic. Yeah, David is working on that. Yeah, I remember the bug. We have a skip logic that tries to skip a test when we are outside of a pre-configured environment with test handler. And I think, yeah, let me put it a review needed. So
Who's the David you said is working on it?
this is David.
Bobby's David? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean,
Okay.
okay, let me put it into work in progress. Waiting on author. David is unstoppable. Yeah, I think there is a lot of, I don't know. I know they're working on life cycle, on pod life cycle right now. So, but it's not related to pod life cycle, it's something else. Okay. And metrics about admission requests and errors.
This is related to the topology manager graduation to GA. One of the items that we have to have for a feature to graduate to GA is to have some sort of metrics, and there were none for topology manager. So I've added 2, and I've added some end-to-end tests as well.
It's hardly readable on the screen. Okay. Does end-to-end test validates metrics?
Yes.
Okay, somebody, Bartosz already had already fixed it. So yeah, now it needs approver. Okay. Improve tests. Okay, I don't know what this is about, but it's not related to SIG Node. Daemon set support in PDB. It's a draft, so I will. Yeah, and it's a feature, so I will take it out of our board completely. I wonder why that's assigned to Teams. Teams can do. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to do that. Anybody interested? Add new device plugin socket subdirectory. Yeah, test changes are minimal, so I will just hide it from here. Okay. And we're done with this part. I want to switch to bug fixes. If you have anything related to test, please speak up. Otherwise, I will go to bugs. Okay, we don't have too many. Yeah, this I need to repro. I still didn't repro. Yeah, somebody was helping and we pinged it last time.
Yeah, so I was under the impression that they're going to work on it if you follow the thread, and they're asking for updates here.
Yeah, very confusing. Like I will try to get some finding and hello, any updates. Okay. Do you want to work on that?
I don't mind, but I don't want to like now. Should we ask them if they want to work?
Yeah, let me triage it in since it seems to be a bug, right?
Yeah. HAR.
Mm.
Thanks.
Yeah, Ryan self-assigned, so it's already triaged. Yeah, I think it's related to those changes that Clayton is also working on.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Test enter node fails because of bug in CNI setup. Yeah, I can triage approval, but the triage accepted. Yeah. Sandbox containers not deleted living pods in not ready state. Huh. 123, almost fresh, but still supported.
So it's just slow. It's not that it's not happening, right? It's just happening too slowly.
Then before space. Yeah, there is a something in not ready state. Always in specific environment. I mean, generally we do delete pods.
Are they saying the PR already exists, but it's not merged? Description?
I think it's another bug.
Oh, it's a bug.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a bad problem to me. So I'd like, your question is good. Can we reproduce this in other environments? That's a good one.
Yeah, bug that's saying we have a specific environment where it fails. Please help us. I'm not generally helpful. We need a little bit more information. Protest data always zero is returned back with some. This is bad. Oh, that's why David's sending these fixes. Okay. I wonder if it's runtime specific. Yeah, this sounds like a bad bug. Investigate. Eviction manager checked the disk usage of dead containers. One living container. What is dead container? I wonder. Is it jobs?
Pod with 2 containers, one of which is a short life, I guess.
But we will restart it unless it's a job with restart policy never. Okay, we still have a little bit of time, so let's try to understand. This is contain pod
A.
A is container. Okay,
We want to see pod B.
it writes file gigabytes on local disk. Okay, and pod B. Where is pod B definition?
Looks like he didn't put the YAML for pod B in.
He exec into it right up in this block that's at the bottom of the screen. There's a block that he labeled it.
Oh, somewhere here.
Yeah. I don't know, up, go up a little bit. There's an exec. Here, right here. There's an exec with GC test B.
Yeah, but I'm looking for YAML for this test B.
Oh. Maybe.
I
Yeah.
didn't include. I'm just curious what one dead container means. Is it a job that has one container completed already?
It's fair to ask for info, I think.
If this is the case, yeah, I think it's a bug in our implementation.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Complete memory leak. Top notch. Okay. Let's parse this title. I see the memory leak and it's scary.
Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing any indication of a condition that causes a memory leak. It's general usage.
Not easy to improve.
What version is this?
Version 25.
Okay, recent.
55.
Pod running document GP. Okay. Yeah, Brian, you're right. It doesn't say anything about what triggered it. Does it mean that we will start a lot of those if they never return?
Yeah, we need a container key guy.
No, for this one we don't need it because like we call it. You need to understand like can they stack forever and then we just accumulate those calls? Maybe you shouldn't call again if one call is already in progress. Oh, I lost the room. Okay, I will finish the reply here and thank you everybody. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.